Hello everyone, it's Diane Fitzpatrick here. I'm making a video for other teachers in my board who have asked me to share what I know about Wave Accounting. I used to use Simply Accounting and then it switched to Sage Accounting in my classroom up until this year, and I have lost most of my desktop computers in my lab and I needed to move to a web-based application, which is what I've been wanting to do over the past few years anyways. So basically I'm going to show you here how I'm going to use it in my class with my students. I'm going to show you how to set up a business. I'm going to show you how to set up accounts once you've set up your business, enter journal entries, and look at your financial reports. It's really quite simple. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do is go Google Wave Accounting and it'll come up as the second one, or basically you can put in the URL www.waveapps.com. Once you click on that, it's going to take you to a new screen and you're going to click on Get Started. Once you do that, it's going to allow you to set up your own account. I have my own account already set up. As a matter of fact, I have several after trying a few times to figure the software out myself, and then I met Melanie Maxim, who is also another teacher on our board, and she came and helped myself and a colleague figure this all out. So props to Melanie, and thank you, Melanie, for all your help. So once you set up your business, I'm going to show you my dashboard here, and you're going to have a similar dashboard that looks like this. I have several businesses set up here, so you can use this drop-down arrow and kind of take a look at what businesses are here. Okay, so I have Starlight Theater, which is Lights, Camera, Action. It's one of the CPA cases. I'm going to be working on this one with my grade 11s. And you can do Witness Fitness, which is something else I was thinking about doing. And I'm actually going to turn my summative for my grade 11s into computerized accounting and get them to work on it in here as some of the steps. Okay, so first thing you should learn how to do is set up one of your own businesses. In order to set up a business, you're just going to go click on Account over here, and you're going to click on Your Profile. And in here on the left-hand side, there are a few options. You're going to click on Businesses. And you see I have some businesses here already. You can then click on Create a Business. So here I'm going to put in Fitzy Test 2, just because I'm using this as a tool to show you guys. And generally with your grade 11s, you'll be working on service businesses throughout the beginning of the course. So just click on General. I provide a service. That's what I chose to do. And this pop-up will appear. And again, I chose other service-related businesses. It's going to give you a service-type business with accounts already set up, but I'm going to get my students to just modify the chart of accounts and set it up exactly as I want them to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So click on that. This is a sole proprietorship, and it's going to be Canadian dollars, so I'm going to hit Save. Okay, now you can see that I have another business called Fitzy Test 2. This is the one I'm going to work on with you. And I know I'm working on this one because it says Fitzy Test 2 here. You will have your name of the business you just set up as well up here once you do it. Okay. In order to set up accounts, if you scroll down here on the left-hand side, it will bring up different options for you. Most of everything we're going to be doing is in the accounting option and the report option. Okay, so I plan on using it just the general journal with my class. I wasn't going to use any of the specialized journals. I just want to keep it simple to give them a flavor. So you will notice once you're in accounting, you have the option of looking at accounts, account balances, and here's where you would do your journal entries. Now, like I said earlier, the software provides you with some accounts already in here, and I'm going to get my students to clean it up as much as possible once they set up their accounts, but I'm just going to quickly go through and show you how I would do it. So for example, I'm going to give my students a listing. Here's a trial balance for Starlight Theater. And so I'm going to want to make sure that they have an account for each one of these. Obviously, we're not using PST or GST anymore. I think there's a more recent version of this that has HST. So if you're looking for it, make sure you get the correct one. So I'm just going to get them to go one by one. So cash is the first one. There is an account called Cash on Hand. I personally kept it, but some students will want to be pretty detail oriented and want to change that. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to delete that one. It's slow, you will notice. And I'm going to click on Add an Account. Once you're in here, I want to add an asset. We know cash is a current asset. I'm going to click on Other Current Asset. And if you scroll down, any of the options always gives you an option of Other. So I'm going to click on Other, and it's going to allow me to name the account I want. So I'm going to put in cash, hit save, and you will see right away that my cash will pop up here. Some accounts you cannot delete. These are called system accounts, and you may recall when using Simply Accounting, there were accounts in there as well that you couldn't delete. So I'm going to tell my students just to ignore them. For example, accounts receivable, I want them to be specific with their receivables. The next one here is accounts receivable Yummy Treats. So I'm going to get them to actually go ahead and set up accounts receivable Yummy Treats. So I'm going to get them to go add an account. Again, it's a current asset. Click on Other, scroll down to the bottom, Other Current Asset, and Yummy Treats. It's Canadian dollars. Hit save, and there you have it. So I'm just going to get them to walk through the process of deleting some accounts that they don't want. For example, I get them to delete sales. It's that easy just to delete these ones. Now it's gone. And again, I'll show you here, I'll show you accounts payable hydro. Example of a liability. Click on Add an Account. It's a liability. It's a current liability. I'm going to click on Current Debt, and there is another Other account. So you will find Other in each of the categories. Hit save, and it's that easy. Okay, so I'm going to get my students to go down the list, set up each account, make sure that they match the trial balance as closely as possible, and delete any superfluous accounts that do not need. Next step, once you have your account set up, and I'm going to toggle over to that company because I have it set up already, and it's going to be actually putting in some of the journal entries. So again, on the left-hand side, if you click on Accounting, this is where we set up the accounts, right here. If you click on Journal Transactions here, you can see the very similar process as we just did. Click on Add Transaction. So again, the students will be working from whatever information you're going to give them, and they're going to just go through and enter the transactions as they go. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the first one, July 2nd, paid the rent $2,200. So we're going to, and it was cash. So I'm going to get my students to put their initials in here. So there's DF for me, so that I know that it's their work if I need to look at it closely. And we're going to say paid rent. And it was check number. I'm going to talk to them about source documents, the whole bit. Make sure they put the proper date in, July 2nd. I'm going to get them to use the current year, July 2nd. And my first account, if you scroll down, I'm going to find my rent expense. I'm going to leave this description blank. It was $2,200. Find your HST. There it is, my recoverable. That's $286. And of course we need a third account, so I'm going to add a line here, which I just did, and I'm going to find my cash, which I left as cash on hand. And students will see what the balance of their debits or credits are, so they can easily just do the math like that. And once you hit save, it will take you back to the screen. Now you won't have all of these transactions. I have all of these transactions in here because I've been playing around with it, but I'll go back to the one I just set up, FTSE Test 2, and you'll see if I click on Journal Transactions, yours will look like this. You have not had added any transactions yet. So once you have transactions, you will see a list like I have. Now, one of the things I have asked Melanie, I don't know if you can do this yet, I'm trying to figure out how to get a printout of all of the transactions. Other than this, I want to see the details. You can click on Edit, and you can see what the individual transactions are. So this was my HST remittance at the end of the month. But there must be a way, I haven't figured it out yet. Once I do, I will make a quick video on that. Okay, now you know how to set up a business, set up accounts, and do journal transactions. In order to look at the financial statements, you would go to the left-hand side here again, click on Reports, and you can see here balance sheet, income statement, ledger. Now, account transactions, you can see the transactions in each account by selecting on, for example, if I want to just look at all my cash transactions, make sure you select the most recent date, the latest date that you had, click on Create Report, and it'll show you basically your ledger. However, I haven't figured out how to get the whole journal yet. Anyways, I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Let's take a peek at the income statement. There's our income statement. Now, the nice thing here is you can get the students to export this in Excel. Some of you will want them to modify this income statement as you have taught them. If you go back to the balance sheet, you will notice some things are not the way we like it in our classrooms. For example, if we look at our liabilities, not necessarily in the order we would want students to have them. Our HST recoverable is not paired up with the payable. But I know Melanie, she likes her students to export these into Excel and set them up as we do it in class. I'm going to leave that up to you. Let me just do one more thing, show you how to modify a transaction once students find out they've made mistakes. In Simply Accounting, I liked the fact that it tracked changes, in that if you modified a transaction, it just basically reversed the first and put the new one in so we can see everything for auditing purposes. However, here you can just go ahead and delete a transaction. So I know I have 2 of these paid rent ones because I did one previous to this. So in order to edit a transaction, you just click on Edit, and it will allow you to change anything you want about it. That's one good thing. So it will allow you to do that. If I want to change my account, let's say that was office expenses instead, and once you hit save, it will save your correction. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually delete that one right here, and it's gone as soon as I click on that. See, now it's gone. Okay, hopefully that helped you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me at my email. Most of you will have this because I'll be emailing it out to you. And good luck.